When people talk about money in Kenya, they often use the words rich and wealthy as if they mean the same thing. You may hear someone say that a person driving a luxury vehicle, living in a large house, and spending a lot of money is wealthy. Others may describe a successful business owner as rich. While both terms relate to financial success, there is a very important difference between being rich and being wealthy. Understanding this difference can completely change the way you think about money. It can influence how you save, invest, spend, and plan for your future. Many people spend years trying to become rich, but the people who achieve lasting financial freedom focus on becoming wealthy. In Kenya today, there are many opportunities to earn money. People are building businesses, investing in real estate, trading online, farming commercially, and working in high-paying professions. Yet despite earning good incomes, many people still struggle financially. The reason is often simple. They are rich in income but poor in wealth. Being rich usually means having a lot of money coming in. A rich person may earn a large monthly salary, receive substantial business profits, or have access to significant cash. Their income allows them to enjoy a comfortable lifestyle and buy expensive things. For example, imagine a professional earning 500,000 Kenyan shillings every month. They can afford a modern vehicle, a good home, expensive holidays, and quality education for their children. To many people, this individual appears rich. However, there is another side to the story. If that person's income suddenly stops because of job loss, illness, retirement, or business difficulties, their lifestyle may quickly become difficult to maintain. The expensive vehicle still needs fuel and maintenance. The house still requires mortgage payments. School fees still need to be paid. Without income, financial pressure begins almost immediately. This is where wealth comes in. Being wealthy means owning assets that continue generating income even when you are not actively working. Wealth is not primarily about how much money you earn today. It is about how much money your assets can generate tomorrow, next year, and even decades from now. A wealthy person may own rental apartments that bring in monthly rent. They may have investments in government bonds, shares in successful companies, farmland that produces income, or businesses that operate without requiring their daily presence. Because these assets generate income, wealth continues growing even when the owner is sleeping, traveling, or retired. P-style equals line height 115, 0.0000% m. Origin 0, 0.0000 in 0px 0, 0.972 in 0px. This is one of the biggest differences between rich and wealthy people. Rich people often work for money. Wealthy people make money work for them. Consider two fictional Kenyans. The first person earns 800,000 Kenyan shillings every month as a senior executive. They drive a luxury vehicle worth several million shillings. They live in an expensive neighborhood and spend heavily on lifestyle. Their income is impressive, but they have very little invested. The second person earns only 150,000 Kenyan shillings monthly from personal work. However, they own several rental units that generate 400,000 Kenyan shillings every month. They also own government bonds and shares that provide additional income. To an outsider, the first person may appear richer, yet the second person is likely wealthier because they own assets that continue producing money regardless of whether they work. One of the most important concepts in wealth building is the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. Examples include rental property, dividend-paying shares, profitable businesses, government bonds, and productive farmland. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Examples include loans for luxury items, expensive vehicles that lose value, and purchases that require continuous spending without generating income. Many people become rich by earning a lot of money. However, they fail to become wealthy because they spend most of their income on liabilities rather than assets. Imagine someone receives a large bonus and uses it to buy a luxury vehicle. The vehicle may impress friends and relatives, but it does not generate income. Instead, it creates ongoing expenses such as insurance, maintenance, repairs, and fuel. Another person receives the same amount of money and invests it in rental units or government bonds. Those investments begin generating income and may increase in value over time. Years later, the difference between the two decisions can be enormous. This is why wealthy people often think differently from rich people. P-style equals lin, e height 115, 0.000%, margin 0, 0.000 in 0px 0, 0.972 in 0px. A rich mindset focuses on income and lifestyle. A wealthy mindset focuses on ownership and long-term growth. Rich people may ask, what can I buy with this money? Wealthy people often ask, how can this money generate more money? P style equals line height 115, 0.000%, margin 0.000, 0 in 0 px 0, 0.972 in 0 px. This simple difference in thinking can lead to dramatically different outcomes over time. In Kenya, many successful entrepreneurs understand this principle very well. They may start with one business and use the profits to acquire additional businesses, commercial buildings, farmland, or investment portfolios. Instead of spending every shilling they earn, they reinvest a portion of their profits into assets that create future income. P style equals line height 115, 0.000%, margin 0. 0.000 in 0 px 0, 0.97, 2 in 0 px. Over many years, this process can create substantial wealth. Another major difference between rich and wealthy people is their relationship with time. Rich people often focus on immediate results. They may want a better vehicle, a larger house, or a more luxurious lifestyle as soon as their income increases. Wealthy people usually focus on long-term goals. They understand that wealth is rarely built overnight. Instead, it is often the result of consistent investing, disciplined saving, and smart decision-making over many years. Think about someone who invests 20,000 Kenyan shillings every month for 20 years. At first, the progress may seem slow. However, over time, investment returns and compound growth can significantly increase the value of their portfolio. The principle of compound growth is one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available. It allows investments to generate returns, which then generate additional returns. Many wealthy people understand this concept and use it to their advantage. They begin investing early and remain patient while their assets grow. Financial education also plays a critical role in the journey from rich to wealthy. Many people spend years learning how to earn money, but very little time learning how to manage it. A person may become a successful doctor, engineer, lawyer, or entrepreneur, yet still struggle financially because they never learned how to invest, budget, or build assets. Wealthy people often dedicate time to understanding financial concepts such as investing, risk management, business ownership, taxation, and asset allocation. They understand that earning money is only one part of financial success. Keeping money and growing money are equally important. In Kenya, there are several common paths to wealth creation. One of the most popular is real estate. /P. Property remains attractive because it can generate rental income while also appreciating in value over time. Residential apartments, commercial buildings, student accommodation, and mixed-use developments can all contribute to long-term wealth. Another popular path is business ownership. A successful business can generate profits year after year. As the business grows, its value may increase significantly. Some businesses eventually become valuable enough to be sold for substantial amounts of money. Agriculture is another important wealth-building sector in Kenya. Commercial farming, dairy production, poultry farming, horticulture, and value-adding activities can generate consistent income when managed effectively. Financial investments also play a major role. Government bonds provide relatively stable returns. Shares offer opportunities for dividends and capital growth. Investment funds allow individuals to diversify their holdings and access professional management. Many wealthy Kenyans combine several of these strategies instead of relying on a single source of income. Diversification is another characteristic commonly associated with wealth. Rich people often depend on one primary income source. This could be a salary or a single business. Wealthy people usually have multiple income streams. For example, they may earn money from rental properties, business ownership, dividends, interest payments, and other investments. P.S. Tile equals line height 115, 0.000%, margin 0. 0.000 in 0 px 0, 0.972 in 0 px. If one source of income experiences difficulties, the others continue providing support. This diversification helps protect wealth and reduce financial risk. P style equals ni height 115, 0.000%, margin 0, 0.000 in 0 px 0, 0.972 in 0 px. Another important difference involves financial freedom. Rich people may earn a lot of money but still feel trapped because they must continue working to maintain their lifestyle. SB and style equals Wealthy people often enjoy greater flexibility because their assets generate income. They can spend more time with family, pursue personal interests, travel, or focus on projects they enjoy because they are not completely dependent on active employment. P style equals line height 115, 0.0000%, margin 0, 0.0000 in 0px 0. 0972 in 0px. This freedom is one of the primary reasons many people pursue wealth rather than simply chasing higher income. Generational impact is another area where wealth differs from richness. Richness often benefits one generation. Wealth has the potential to benefit several generations. When assets are carefully managed and passed on effectively, they can continue generating income for children and grandchildren. This is why many wealthy families focus on succession planning, financial education, and long-term stewardship of assets. They understand that true wealth extends beyond personal consumption. It creates opportunities for future generations. P style equals line height 115, 0.0000%, margin 0, 0.000 in 0px 0, 0972 in 0px. Unfortunately, many people fall into common traps that prevent them from building wealth. One of the biggest mistakes is lifestyle inflation. As income increases, spending increases at the same pace or even faster. A person receives a salary increase and immediately upgrades their vehicle, house, wardrobe, and entertainment budget. While there is nothing wrong with enjoying success, excessive lifestyle inflation can prevent wealth accumulation. Another common mistake is relying entirely on debt to finance consumption. Debt can be useful when used to acquire productive assets. However, using debt primarily for consumption can create financial pressure and limit future opportunities. Many people also postpone investing because they believe they need large amounts of money to get started. In reality, wealth often begins with small, consistent investments. Regular contributions made over many years can produce significant results. Patience is another quality frequently associated with wealth creation. P style equals line height 115, 0.000%, margin 0, 0.000 in 0px 0, 0972 in 0px. Many people want immediate results and become discouraged when progress seems slow. Wealthy individuals understand that meaningful wealth often takes years or even decades to build. P style equals line height 115, 0.000% margin 0, 0.000 in 0px 0, 0972 in 0px. They remain committed to their strategy despite temporary setbacks and market fluctuations. The journey from rich to wealthy does not require extraordinary intelligence or luck. It usually requires discipline, consistency, financial education, and a long-term perspective. Anyone can begin by tracking expenses, creating a budget, building an emergency fund, reducing unnecessary debt, and investing regularly. Over time, these habits can lead to substantial financial improvement. The goal should not simply be to earn more money. The goal should be to convert income into assets that generate future income. Income is important because it provides the resources needed to invest. However, wealth is created when that income is transformed into productive assets. At the end of the day, the difference between rich and wealthy in Kenya comes down to one simple idea. Rich people have money. P style equals line height 115, 0.000%, margin 0, 0.000 in 0px 0, 0972 in 0px. Wealthy people own assets that create money. A rich person may enjoy an impressive lifestyle today. A wealthy person builds financial security, freedom, and opportunity that can last for decades. While there is nothing wrong with becoming rich, true financial success comes from using income to build wealth. Income can make you rich for a season. Ownership can make you wealthy for a lifetime.